Hi there. Happy Little School of Big Change Day. It's kind of like Prime Day, but better, way better because free shipping is great, but it doesn't change your life. I know people would say that Amazon has changed their life. It's probably changed my life, but not anything like the Little School of Big Change. So today's the day. School's open. People are in there. It's exciting and exciting. First day of school. I'll put all the links here. The video series I've been talking about, the 4-part video series, video 4 was released this morning, so the link is here if you want to check that out. If you've watched all of them up until now, don't miss number 4. If you haven't seen any of them, there's time. You can go back and start with one and watch them all. So I have a question today from Sarah. Let me read Sarah's question. Sarah says, despite learning and using the 3 principles understanding for the last 2 years, my fear of the outside world remains the same. Why is this? And how do I ever trust me and in that world without the fear of panic and feel free of this old thinking pattern, even though I'm in full awareness of what thought is and that my mind is just churning these old patterns? I feel so tired of knowing it, yet not experiencing the trusting of this in the outside world. So Sarah, I hear you, and you know your question. Oh, thanks, Patricia. Your question is not uncommon, and I have a really horrible answer for you, and I apologize in advance. But it is, as far as I can see, and I really, I really get quiet and sit with this. I don't come on here to give opinions. I'm sure my opinions squeak through at times, but I'm not in the opinion business. I point to how things work. That's it. So there's no opinion in this, and I and again, and I might be wrong. Now, sometimes there might be more to see than what I'm seeing. So when I read something like your question, Sarah, first of all, I so feel for you, and I know that you are not at all alone. There are many people. In fact, a bunch of them just joined the Little School of Big Change and are in there saying, and every time this is the case, I know, and they even say it like that, like you did in your question, Sarah, I know this stuff, and it's helped me in some ways. It feels right, it resonates, whatever, but whatever is still, but I'm still smoking, but I'm still afraid of the outside world, like you said, but whatever. And I just, so here's the thing, Sarah. Don't throw anything at your computer, please. There's so many levels of knowing it. When you say, let me go back to how you said it, despite learning and using the 3 principles understanding for the last 2 years, my fear of the outside world remains the same. Why is this? I don't know how we use the 3 principles understanding. It doesn't feel like anything that's used to me. It kind of doesn't even feel like something that's learned. Now it is to some degree. I mean, we can see more about this, right? We can get on to how it works. Like, we can call that learning. I don't want to be crazy nitpicky about words. But I do want you to see that there's so many levels of waking up to this. So much depth that we can kind of keep waking up to. Now, in the school, we always talk about this spiral. So we see for the first time, oh my gosh, I'm feeling my thinking. I'm not that. We see, oh my gosh, this is happening in my head all the time. That's not me. I'm not that. Now, that's kind of like one trip around the spiral, right? We've woken up to it to some extent. And things will feel lighter, perhaps, or shift a little bit, or whatever happens from that, who knows? And then we kind of travel back around and we forget it. We forget what we just learned. It happens all the time, all the time. It's how it works. Then we kind of come back around the spiral, and then you have this brand new insight. Oh my gosh, this is where my experience is coming from. I'm feeling this in my head. Now, it's not a brand new insight because you had it before, but it is brand new because you see it with more depth. Like, it comes to life for you in a real way that maybe you feel, maybe that shows up in your experience a little bit more than the first time around. Same thing again, you forget it, right? You forget it. You get caught up, you get a panic attack, you're afraid of the world, whatever. Then you come back around and you see it again. And that time you see it even more deeply, maybe. So For those of us who have been in this conversation for years, and yourself too, I see this in the school all the time. People are in this conversation for years, and we see stuff that lands with us, and then we kind of forget it. Then we get to re-see it. Then we get to re-see it again. Then we get to re-see it again. And each time it becomes more and more real, and it's brought to life in a way that means something and has some impact on how your experience shows up, on how life looks for you. So again, in your question, when you say you've been learning it and using it, I'm not sure what using it means, but you've seen something about this for the last 2 years. But Sarah, if your fear of the outside world remains the same, all that means is there's a lot more to see. It means maybe you're kind of on this trip around the spiral, and it looks like, again, this is not just you. This has nothing to do with you, Sarah. It's everybody. On this trip around the spiral, it looks like, oh, I get thought creates my experience. But maybe those are just kind of words. Maybe they're words with a little bit of meaning. Maybe they're words with a lot of meaning, but they haven't had life looking safe to you yet. There's so much more to see. And it's not necessarily brand new content. So sure, maybe you know what principles are. That's great. There's nothing, there's only so much to learn content-wise there. So you probably have that nailed down, put away. You could write books on the content of it. But that doesn't do anything for us. As you see, it doesn't do anything. For anybody can know content and kind of know how it works. It's in immersing. It's in deepening in this. It's in getting curious, even when we think we're at the deepest depth we can go, thinking, I wonder what else I could see about this. It's in, for all the people that are starting the school today, it's in what I call this what if stance, of coming into this container of this conversation and saying, what if this really is the way life works? Don't believe me. Don't believe your own mind, for Pete's sake. Don't believe that. Don't believe this telling you, no way, life works this way. Don't believe that. Don't believe me. Just have it open. Just explore and say, what if? What would it mean if this truly is how life works? And then you find yourself going deeper and deeper and deeper with maybe the same insights and the same content, but it comes to life for you. So there's no way, Sarah, and I don't mean this isn't personal. This is how it works for everybody. But there's no way that if you've been exploring this for 2 years and life looks really scary to you still, and you can feel your mind churning in those old thought patterns, as you say, but you don't trust yourself and you don't trust life and you're still getting really caught up in those thought patterns, there's no way you're done. No way at all. No way that you've seen even a fraction of what there is to see in this. And that's great news. It's great news. Like, you haven't failed. It hasn't failed you. There's just more to see. There's just more. And I think there's always more. That's what initially, for me, 8 or 9 years ago, when I came across this, one of the main things that drew me to this so much, aside from the fact that my 8-year bulimia habit fell away, that was nice. But beyond that, professionally, I knew instantly, yes, this is what I want to spend my life doing. And I was looking to all my mentors who had been doing this in this conversation for 40 plus years, and every one of them was saying, I keep seeing more every day. And I said, sign me up, because I don't want to just learn something and be at the end. That's amazing. Like, where else in life do we get to keep exploring the same thing and keep seeing more and keep deepening in it and keep having insights that open doors for us and open our lives up for us wider and wider, year after year after year. And it only gets better in time, not worse. I mean, that's pretty awesome. So you are a baby in this, Sarah. So am I. And I'm happy to be a baby in this. We are infants. We are not even crawling yet. We're not even scooting yet. We're brand new. So don't think, and for everyone listening, I mean, for all of us, don't think, oh, I got it. I see how it works. It should have done this for me by now. It doesn't work that way. You can see how it works all you want, and it doesn't mean anything until you kind of feel it in your heart, until you really kind of see it from within you, like, oh, this is how life's really working. And I just know, Sarah, if life looks scary out there, not that it won't at times, but if by and large life out there looks scary and dangerous and all of that stuff, there's just a ton more you can see. So keep looking, please. Stay in the conversation, keep exploring, join the school, or find some other teachers. Sometimes that helps so much, to find a variety of voices and different people that express this and share this in different ways can really start to open something up for you. So thank you so much, Sarah, for your question. I know it's a question a lot of people have, so it's super helpful for others. And it's a really opportune time that you sent that question on Saturday because school's opening today. So it's, again, the Little School of Big Change is just one option. There's many options out there for exploring this and doing it. And I just want you to choose the one that works for you, Sarah, and everyone listening. But if the way I share this resonates, if the idea of going through a program with me holding your hand and guiding you through it resonates, check us out at the school. Students are piling in today and starting their initial lessons, and enrollment is open until Thursday. So there's a few more days still to check that out. I am doing a webinar in 47 minutes. I'll put the link to that webinar here, and I'll just go more deeply into all this on the webinar and answer your questions about the school and anything else. So thank you guys so much for listening, and I will see you soon. Have a great day.